That's good. So, I'm gonna.
Well, my name is Reese Stephan, and I am married to my beautiful wife Kailey, and we have two children. Our oldest child is Harper. She is 5.5 years old, and our son is Cash, who just turned 4. And it was really Cash's birth that kind of started us on this whole journey that we've been on the last few years. Like I said, he's 4 years old, and he was born in Miles City, Montana. And we were pastoring church in Webo at the time, and he was born. And 5 days after he was born, my wife started having some problems breathing, and also started to form water blisters all over her legs. And we called the doctor, find out what was going on. They said, get down here immediately. We went back to Miles City, 90 miles, made a flying trip down there. And by the time we got there, they were all ready to do tests and stuff on her. And within the hour, the airplane life flight from Billings was already on its way to us. Her initial diagnosis was that she was in congestive heart failure, which is really an old person's disease. She was 28 at the time. And for about a year, they didn't know exactly what caused it. They kind of said that they thought it was something to do with pregnancy, but really kind of went undiagnosed and misdiagnosed for a year. And finally we ended up with a doctor who figured out what it was, and she has what is called idiopathic pulmonary hypertension. Basically a big word to say that idiopathic, they don't know what caused it, but pulmonary hypertension, she has high blood pressure because her lungs do not work well, and her lungs are underdeveloped, and so her heart has to work a lot harder just to be able to process oxygen in her body. And along with this, she has now COPD and some other things that make it hard for her to breathe. And she really has to have a lot of help now with being able just to do anything physically. If she has to walk very far, she has to be on oxygen. Smaller tasks can wear her out pretty easily. And even the common cold, just a few weeks ago, sent her to the hospital, where she spent 3 days and 2 nights because she caught a cold. And this time freaked us out a little bit because they were talking about intubating her and putting her into a coma to let her lungs kind of rest and her body rest to just recover from having a cold. The long and short of it is that within 10 years, she's expected to probably need a double lung transplant and possibly a heart transplant at the same time. There's not really a cure for the disease. She takes 11 different medicines every day right now, pills and shots, just to kind of keep the disease slow. And
Like you're thinking about something, or
Right.
thinking about something hard, or maybe use your.
there's no cure for it. And the reality is that she could die before she's 40. After our last hospital stay, some friends asked us what we would like to have as a family or what they could do for us. And one of the things that Kailey and I had talked about before we were before we were married, when we were dating and stuff, and before we had any children, we'd always said when we had kids we wanted to take them to Disneyland, because that was kind of something that I never got to do as a kid, and we just really wanted to share a fun trip like that with our kids. And so it's getting to the point now where if we're going to be able to do it, we got to do it pretty quickly, because Kailey, over the next few years, probably will no longer be able to make a trip like that and be able to enjoy it with the kids and stuff. And so our friends told us that they would like to make that happen, and so that's, I guess, kind of the point of this video and stuff. But we're praying every day that God will either heal Kailey, or that they will come up with a cure for the disease. She's been a fighter and is working as hard as she can to do what she can to slow down the disease, but we do know its eventual end, and so we really want to make some memories with our kids while we can do it, and while Kailey's physically able to do it, and things that they'll be able to remember that they did with their mom. And so that's kind of the point of this trip. So thank you guys for everything, for all the support we've had from family and friends over the years, and prayers, and we just appreciate it all. Thank you.